Hello, everyone. It is Friday. Again, it's Friday. How are you all? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great, super fun day in your life. Let's see. Hey, Petka. Hey, Auntie JZ Michael. Dorothy. Hi, Ian. Hi, Carla. Petka. Hi, Ina. And Elena, hello, from Argentina. I know I can't communicate with you, but hello, Elena. Oh, how's everybody doing? Hi, GS Page. Hi, Pavla. Nice to see you. Hi, Lindy. Ian's cool, literally. There you go. GS Page. I can't remember. Is your name Page? Sorry if I can't remember. I write stuff down, then I forget where I write the things down. I live in a land of post-it notes. My technical department would have a stroke if he saw all the. I hope he's not here listening. Hi, Dawn. Hi, Annette. Hi, Mary. Hi, Miss Ellie. Oh, good, Mary. Welcome. I'm glad you're here for the first time. Hi, Yvonne. Hi, Patty. Hi, Magdalena from Uruguay. Welcome, welcome. It's so fun to have everybody here. Okay. Hi, Debbie. Yeah, if you can't watch live, you can always watch the recording when I get it up. Usually I get it up over the weekend. I got on my crap clothes today because we're going to do crap stuff. The picture that was there when you came on with the snowflakes and the alcohol inks, yeah, well, that's not happening. I thought it was going to happen. I tried really hard to make it happen, and you know, that's always dangerous when you try to make it happen. It just doesn't happen. Hey, Janet, nice to see you. Hi, Miriam, welcome. Miriam, Elena's here, so you can chat with her, okay? Debbie loves crap stuff. Good, because that's what we're doing today. I just had to totally switch gears not very long ago because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I am just not feeling it. And if I'm not feeling it, I tried really hard to make it happen. It just doesn't happen. So you just go, okay. Anyway, so today is Friday. I was not here last week. If you guys were here last week, I had to take a day off. I should probably take about a month off, to tell you the truth. I should probably take a month off. But you know what? I enjoy being here with you guys. It's just sometimes my idea bank gets a little thin because I get distracted with other things. And, and then all of a sudden it's time to stream and, that's just the way it is. Hi, Joyce. That's right. Joyce says, hi, Barb, drink up and crap it up. 2 thumbs up to that. I'll toast to that. I will toast to that. Got some homemade chai tea going on in here. I even know the recipe, so I'll give it to you, just in case. Now, this is not my original recipe. This recipe came from Patty. I got it from Patty. I believe you say her name's Simkowitz, but I could have that totally wrong. From her blog. She had this tea on there. And I think she called it yogi tea or yogi chai or something like that. Anyway. Hey, CB. Carla says, so glad I'm not the only one. I'm not in the not in the happening mood. It must be something in the air, Carla. It must be something in the air. Maybe it's called the holidays around here. I don't know. Hi, Pin. Anyway, get out your pencil if you want to know how to make this tea, and I'll tell it to you. I'll tell you how I do it. It's not exactly the way Patty's recipe is, but I'll tell you how I do it. It starts with 2 quarts of water, and now I usually make more than that, but 2 quarts of water that you bring to a boil. And then you have the following spices ready to go. You need to have 20 whole cloves. Okay, so those are the whole little clove pieces, not ground up, the whole cloves. 20 of those. You need 20 black pepper, the whole black peppercorns. You need 20 cardamom pods, and you split them. So I just take my knife and just cut a slice into them so it exposes the innards of the cardamom. I don't worry about taking the pods open. I just cut into them, slice them open. So there's cardamom, cloves, black pepper, and then you want to have ginger, fresh ginger, and so you slice up 8 or 10 slices of fresh ginger, like 1/4 of an inch thick, and 5 whole pieces of cinnamon, the sticks of cinnamon. Not garlic cloves, cloves. The spice cloves, not garlic cloves. No, that would be awful. That would be awful. No, this is a good tasting spicy chai tea. Okay, so it's 5 sticks of cinnamon, 20 little cloves, spice cloves, not garlic cloves, spice cloves, 20 peppercorns, 20 cardamom pods. Okay, got that? And then 8 or 10 slices of ginger. That's about 1/4 of an inch thick. The real McCoy ginger that you buy in the store. Okay? That's what you do. So you bring the water to a boil, and then I put the cloves in for a minute. I'm not sure why the cloves go in first, but that's what the recipe called for. Put the cloves in and boil it for a minute, and then add all the rest of the spices, the ginger, everything. Put it all in there, bring it down to a simmer, and simmer it for about 30 minutes. Okay? Then I take it off the heat, and I put one black tea bag, regular black tea bag, or the recipe called for like 1/2 teaspoon of black tea if you have it in bulk. Put it in there, put the lid on it, let it steep for a while, strain it, you got great looking tea. I'll show you what it looks like in the cup, because it looks like the real McCoy. Aside from the lipstick, I'll wipe that off. Yeah, that looks gross. But see? Looks like the real deal, doesn't it? It's really good too. So anyway, Ian says he needs hot chocolate with some Irish cream. There you go. Cloves. That's right, CB. She's laughing at my cloves. Hi, Nancy. We're going to paint fabric today. That's what I'm going to do. Hi, Emma. Emma says, cook with Emma just involves buying a ready-made tea roll bag. What did you say? Tea bag, ready-made tea bag. So anyway, no, just a single tea bag. Just a single, the little one. Not the family one, just the little one. That's all it takes. I know. Janet's recipe. We're sharing tea recipes at the moment. Those of you guys watching the recording. Janet's recipe is heat water and put in a tea bag. So there you go. Hi, Samantha. Hey, Britton. Nice to have you here. Thanks for joining us. Now, what we're doing, I was sharing my recipe for chai tea. And I think Pavla laughs at me because I think she says in her, where she is, chai is tea. But here, chai is a kind of tea. I should just stop talking. Okay, let me tell you one thing. Let me just totally switch gears. Hard right turn. My son's girlfriend, Nikki, who is Nikki Beauty Bliss here on YouTube, is streaming every evening for the month of December. So if you guys want to support her and chat with her, she is just the funniest person. Sometimes she might be in the chat. You never know. Sometimes she pops in. Anyway, she is, oh, and I forgot to set something on my computer. Let me do that right now as I'm talking to you. She is streaming. She's brand new. Last night was her very first stream on YouTube. And so she streams at, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And she's only streaming for like half an hour. But anyway, it's fun because you can ask her questions and just, she'll have something to show, some beauty product or some tip or whatever. Anyway, it's fun to support a new streamer. So anyway, Nikki Beauty Bliss. It's Nikki. That's how you spell it. Nikki Beauty Bliss. That's her YouTube channel. So anyway, she'll be on at 9:30 Eastern for the month of December. So she's brand new, and of course there's a few little technical glitches here and there for everybody, but anyway, it was fun to watch her last night. So okay, let's see what else. Miriam, whoops. Emma says never take advice from her because she managed to set fire to her project on her stream last night. Oh no, that's not good. That's not good. And Patty's working on a multi-mandala drawing. How cool is that? And Dorothy's recipe is don't drink tea. Yeah, so Paula says, wait, I got to read this too. She says, explain it to the shop assistant that you want a chai. Not the chai, but the chai. See? In the United States, it's different than that. Samantha says chai tea is great. She drinks it with milk. See, I'm not the only one. Hey, Rebecca. Good to see you. Nice to have you here. It's good to see you in the chat. Hey, Dawn's Craft Riot. I saw the other Dawn was here too. Linda. Hi, Linda. Hi, Carol TMT. Hi, Josie. Josie's from Italy, I believe. And Ian has his own beauty channel. There you go. Hi, Sarah. Ian, what's your channel name? We'll support you too. She's pretty cute, Ian. You ought to check her out. But she does have a boyfriend. All right. Let's do something. Oh, first of all, I have a story to tell you. Should I tell you while I'm doing something? Maybe I'll tell you while I'm doing something rather than just sit here and chat. Yeah. We'll get started, then I'll tell you a story. If I forget, somebody remind me I have a story to tell you. So this week in the mail, I got a lovely surprise gift. And I won't read this note to you. But I just wanted to show it to you because it was just... I love people's handwriting, I love people's handwriting. I love getting notes like this that are written with the person who is sending the gift. I just think that's really fun. Anyway, this was from Ilona, and she may not be here because she's here occasionally, but Ilona sent me 2 brushos from, she works in the UK at a store, and she sent me the brusho in black and in moss green. And I'm not very well, I don't use these very well yet. Let's just say that. I'm not very good at using them yet. Pardon all the crud on my mat. Anyway, I just wanted to thank Ilona so much for sending those to me. That was so sweet. Yeah, that was so sweet. Hi, Mukta. And, oh, I forgot how to say your name. Hi, Lynn from the UK. Good to see you. Elin, I forgot how to say your name. I'm so sorry. I do apologize. I know you've told me before, and I've written it down, but I don't know where I wrote my note. Anyway, it was so nice of Ilona to send that to me. So thank you so much if you're watching this. I finally finished this canvas that I'd been working on for a while, so I thought I would show it to you. And so it's a 12 by 12 canvas, so it's a little big for where I have my camera set, so I thought, oh, I'll just scroll up, let you see it. And anyway, it's all finished. It says, beautiful girl, you can do amazing things. And so there's a lot of texture on it because there's a lot of tissue paper and stuff. I don't know whether you can see all the texture on it. It's all done in acrylics. Just say Ellen. Okay. Okay, Ellen. I'll try to remember to just say Ellen. There's no guarantee I'll remember that either. Darn it. Anyway, so here is the canvas that I finally finished. It is heavily textured. It's a whole lot of mixed media. I couldn't begin to tell you how many layers are on it, but anyway, the little bird is whispering the message to her in case she's blind and can't read, that it says, beautiful girl, you can do amazing things in, 36-point type or whatever. Janet in the chat would be able to tell us what that type is. I don't know. Anyway, I'll give you a close-up look. How's that? So you can see what I'm trying to give you is a look at the texture. There's a modeling paste up here in the corner. So she's definitely got the wrinkles going on because I've got tissue paper happening. I don't even know what all I used on it because I did this over the course of a number of weeks. I'd work on it a little bit here and there. I should have done it all in one evening, but it just didn't happen. There's more modeling paste. There's some stamping, some washi tape. There's, it's truly mixed media. There's ink, there's paints, there's Inca Gold. This has Inca Gold. This pinky color is Inca Gold. Most of it's done with acrylics. Yes, Ellen, you will just have to remind me. That's right. So anyway, it's very mixed media. The side is painted with a brown, and then it has right here at the corner, or with the edges, this is an Inca Gold and a turquoise. So, and there's even pins. These are the hot pink that I embellished on here, neon pink. That's done with a pin. But anyway, you can see her face close up. And maybe I'll give you a shot where she's straight on. So anyway, she's very wrinkly, but from a distance, it's not too bad. From a distance, she doesn't look too wrinkly. Anyway. Hi, Shu. Oh, thanks. Okay, Ellen, thanks. Whoops. Forgot to switch the shot. Anyway, okay. So there is that. So I just wanted to show you because I'd shown this to you before when I was working on it. I thought, well, I'll show it to you when it's finished. So she's all done. Yes, we all look better from a distance, don't you think? We do. Maybe I did. Okay, so we're going to move this out of the way. All right, let's get out some fabric, and I need some fabric painted, and so we're going to just do that. Does that sound all right? Now, the fabric I'm going to do today is not washable. In the end, it is not a washable fabric, so I'm not going to even attempt to decide that I'm going to pretend that it's going to be washable because it's not. So if one of the cats decides to crawl up on the table and leave his mark on the fabric somehow, and those of you that have cats know what I mean, we'll just have to deal with it. Yeah. That's right, Mukta. Oh, good to see you, Shu. You missed me last week? I missed you too. Hi, Teresa. Oh, thanks. I'm glad you guys liked her. Yeah, really and truly, we all look better from a distance. Okay, so what I have here in my hot little hand is some rubbing plates. these are rubbing plates from Cedar Canyon. See if I can tighten up this. Okay, see where it says Cedar Canyon? That is the brand. So that is the brand, the company that makes these. Cedar Canyon. And this particular set that I have right here, they come in sets of 6. Yeah, there's 6 in a set. This one is leaves, and I'm sure that with the shine and all that, it'll drive you crazy looking at it. But anyway, there's leaves. This one is op art. This one will make your eyes go crazy. So that's op art. And then I have another set, and I have no idea what this is. I kind of think it's curves, but I'm not entirely sure. You can see this a little better because it's got paint on it. All right. So, and I just store them in a plastic bag. And the only reason that I keep all this packaging and stuff is because of the classes that I run over on HowToGetCreative.com. And so I have lots of, it just makes it much easier for me when I'm trying to tell people what supplies I'm using if I keep the packaging so that I know. All right, so we're just going to we may use these a couple of different ways. I'm going to take this one, which has a big leaf design, and I'm going to put it under the fabric just to get me started. And I'm going to use some oil pastels. So that's what I have here. These are the Simply Oil Pastels by Daler Rowney. Oil pastels are cheap. If you're just using, this is like a kid's grade oil pastels. And they are inexpensive. And you get a slew of colors. That's one set I have. Samantha knows. Okay. Yeah, CB says these are great for both fabric and jelly plate printing on paper. The rubbing plates, absolutely. And I use them with a jelly plate a lot. Yep. Hi, Jane. Oh, it's good to see you. Pop in for a second. Hi, Ilona. Ilona, thank you so much. I showed the brushes that you sent me and your sweet note earlier. Thank you so much. That was so kind of you. I really appreciate it. And I showed them earlier in the video. So thank you again so much. That I can't wait to really figure out, more about using them. I played with them a little bit this morning, but, not enough. Only enough to get my hands totally icky. But thank you so much. Okay, so this is another set. This is a set by Loa Cornell, and this is a big old huge set. This whole box of these was $8. This was, I think, $6. So, Anyway, we're going to play around with oil pastels, and I'm just going to pull some colors out. I don't really care what happens here today. So this could be bad for you guys. All right, so we're going to just use the rubbing plate. And we're just going to get some color on here and some texture. Just because I feel like using a rubbing plate in whatever color I feel like using. And I have oil sticks that are oil paint in a stick form that work really nicely with these on fabric. But you have to let those dry, and you have to heat set them and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't feel like doing that, so I thought we'll just play with them like this. I'm going to turn it so that I don't get exactly the same pattern. I'm looking for ones that I don't have to peel down the paper. And this may not even show up in the end. May not even show at the end of the process. All right, let's put this. And the thing that's nice about these is that you have two different designs. Even though this is like a fern design, hopefully, let's see, I'm trying to catch it where you can see it without too much glare. This side is very flat. When you flip it over, you have a similar design, but it's the opposite. So you have a very rounded design, and it's a completely different look. You'll see what I mean here. We'll do both sides. You can't see that color. Let's do this color. Okay, so that's one side of the rubbing plate. Then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to move it up to a different spot, and we'll pick a different color. Trying not to get too wound up in what color I pick. I just want to pick something that maybe you can see. And you see how this design is different from this one. They're the opposite of each other. So that's a pretty cool thing about these rubbing plates. Yeah, it's like brass rubbing, except they're plastic. Exactly. All right, let's use some of these op art designs just because I haven't used those before. So let's put a little bit of this under here. And okay. And why am I doing this? Just because what I was in the mood, what I thought I was going to do today just wasn't clicking for me, and I thought, all right, we'll just go to do something different. And I need some fabrics because I'm running low on my fabrics. So we'll do some fabric. Okay, that one's pretty much going to be the same. All right, let's do this one. This one is one that I go back to over and over and over again. I love this particular design. This one I love using with jelly plates. And I'll probably, if I think about it, I'll print some of these also with some paint once we get going. We're just after putting some color down. But this is a good way to get colored, but that's not just color. You know, it's design as well. Okay, let's pick another one. I'm just randomly pulling designs here. And trying to randomly pull colors. I don't want brown. That's a pretty cool design. And one more. It's kind of an obnoxious sound, isn't it? Sorry. Sorry, but it is. Okay, we've got color. We got someplace to begin. Never seen a rubbing plate before? Ah, hi, Smiley. You can scroll back. Yes, you can scroll back in real time. I think you can scroll back, guys, 30 minutes or something like that. And yes, you can do that. That's one of the cool things about YouTube Live. You can do that. Okay. And if it's past 30 minutes, then you have to wait for the recording to see the whole thing. Okay, where did I put the box for these? Somewhere. Here it is. So while I'm messing with putting stuff away, I do want to say to anybody watching a recording, this is recorded live. I am chatting with a live audience, and you're welcome to join us any Friday, most any Friday, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So you'll have to find that equivalent wherever you are. You can put it in the world clock on Google, and you can find out what that means for your time zone. And you're welcome to join us any Friday. We'd love to have you. But it is recorded live, and it is a long video, because that's what I do. I have a few short videos here and there, but for the most part, everything I do is live, long streaming, live streaming kinds of things. So anyway, there you go. One of the cool parts about YouTube Live too is that you can change the resolution. So if you're watching the recording, you can click the little gear icon and you can change the resolution. You can also change the speed at which you watch the video. So if you want to watch it twice as fast or whatever, you can do that. There's also a little slider bar at the bottom of the window, and you can scrub through that. You can just drag that little slider bar. If I get too boring, which is entirely possible, or I start chattering on or telling a story that you don't want to hear, just drag that slider bar across. Easy peasy. I didn't tell the story yet. No. Just checking the chat for a minute. So we do have there's a live chat going on, so I am interacting with people, and when I have to stop and I don't say anything for a minute, sometimes it's because I'm reading the chat. It happens. All right, so what I have here in my hot little hand is I have a container of Dylusions paint, so I thought I'd play with those today because I'm in that kind of Dylusions kind of crazy Dylusions kind of mood. And so I'm just going to get out some colors, and I'm going to get out a card, and I'm going to drag some paint around. So I have 3 colors that I've picked to use, and the colors I have at the moment are squeezed orange, I think is this one. Yes, squeezed orange, fresh lime, and lemon zest. Now I've got some crumbs on here from my oil pastels, so what I'm going to do is just with my hand, I'm just intending to smear them across the fabric. And this is muslin. There's nothing magic about the fabric. I do like this particular muslin. This is the one I use all the time. It is a heavyweight muslin, or I think it's called plain calico in other parts of the world. It is heavyweight. It's not that real wimpy stuff, but it is not canvas. It is actually muslin. I honestly don't know if these are waterproof after drying. I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Now, if you mix them with textile medium, you probably could get away with it. There are several brands of textile medium. This is one. This is the Delta textile medium. So if you wanted to use that, and it also would maintain the hand. If you put this in your paint, it would maintain the hand of the fabric, which means it would maintain its softness. Since I'm not going to wash it on purpose, I don't care. But I don't think by itself it's ever going to be, it's not billed as a fabric paint. So, all right, so I'm just going to scrape some, I'm picking it up, just picking it up out of the lid. I've got just a card. And I'm just putting a very thin application of color here and there. Then I'm just going to turn it. My intention is to keep turning the fabric as I work so that I don't end up with anything that's like, it has to be the right way, you know, the right way up. All right, so we got some yellow paint going. So I'm going to put that one away. Yeah, Eileen. Hello, Eileen. She says, don't use the rubbing plate to emboss in your die cutter. She knows from experience. I bet that was not a very pleasant experience you had there. Although I have to say, Eileen, that's pretty funny. You did make me smile. Hi, Angel. Barb's painting fabric today. The picture I had in my video window to start with ended up to be a total fabrication, complete lie. I was going to do something else. It wasn't working for me, so I just had to switch gears, because sometimes that happens. All right, so I'm just adding some squeezed orange here and there. And I am scraping this very thinly on purpose, because acrylic paint does take some time to dry, but I don't want to take too long to dry. If this acts like it's getting cranky and not drying very fast on me, or it's getting too wet, probably is a better thing to say. If it feels like it's getting too wet, then I'll stop and just switch to another piece of fabric. Because I have some other ones, like this. I have this one that's already in progress, so we may switch and work on that one later. Who knows? And Eileen calls me Barb, B-A-R-V, and it's because she refuses. It's not that she can't type, it's that she refuses to type. She refuses to type my name properly. All right. So now I think I've got everything pretty well spread out here and there. So we're going to go and see if we can put some fresh lime on it and see what happens. Hi, Vanessa. Welcome. Hi, Kia Jillian. Hi, Bunny. It's nice to have you guys all join me today. I'm gonna shake this a little bit, only because what I want to do is to get some paint in the lid. And my card is pretty clean, even though I didn't wipe it off. I'm just not using that much paint. So I got plenty of paint in the lid. Yes, I did. So I'm going to have to be a little judicious with this. So I'm just going to spread it around here and there. When you do this kind of thing, if you're painting fabric, the thing that is easy to do, it's super easy to forget the edges. So I try to remind myself to go all the way to the edges and always to continue turning it. So if I make you dizzy turning it round and round, then my apologies. I will use any kind of paint on fabric because, as I said, you know, unless I'm doing something that is for a wearable purpose, which is rare that I do painted fabric for wearable things. I mostly use it in what I do. Most of the time I don't care about washability, so I don't put the textile medium in with it, but you certainly can. So in real life, as we say, it's looking pretty good. I'll give you a shot here in just a second. Cleaning off the card. The thing about the Dylusions paints is that you want to always put the lids back on them. They are very fluid paint. And it's nice to have it's kind of nice to have paint that has a squatty, you know, lid like this, because you can get the whole card in it. Otherwise, I have to squirt the paint on a palette and pick it up off the palette. So it is kind of nice to have these little containers. However, it's liquid enough that it will, if you knock it over, you're going to have a big mess on your hands. So keep the lids on your paints. All right, take a look. Ian wants to know if you could make a rubbing plate from a lino printing board. Probably you could, but I think you might be better off to make it with hot glue. You could make hot glue on a piece of wood. That would be nice and cheap. Let it dry and then use that as a rubbing plate. That's what I would do. So, yeah. I did not add any fabric medium, textile medium at all. And as I happen to see thick spots in the paint where I didn't scrape it very well, I'm going to stop and scrape them. I'm just giving you a shot at what it looks like at this point. It's fun. Okay, it's fun, but it's nothing fabulous, as it were. Okay, so that gives you an idea of what it looks like and what the truer colors are. One of the things that we have on our wish list for 2017 is to upgrade the cameras and the computers, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so let's see. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do next here. I think I'm going to add some dots and some lines. So I have, hi Angel Bug, Cheryl, good to see you. So what I'm going to do now is I have these Brayers. Uh-oh. Okay. Sorry, my one of my little gadgets here said it lost a connection, but it hadn't. It was telling me a story. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I have a brayer that has dots, and I have its companion. These came together in a set that has lines, so you can switch out the handle. So I'm going to use dots first, okay? So I'm going to get a palette. So this is a disposable palette here. All right, I'm going to let you guys tell me what color you think I ought to use. You see what I got going on here. What color paint do you want? What color paint do you want me to use? You get to choose. We'll paint this fabric together. My cameras that I'm using now, 3 of them are the Logitech cameras. I have 2 920s, C920s, and 1 C910. And then I have, I think it's a Sony HD camera. Yeah. Mary says purple or blue. Pablo says teal. More blue. Okay, you guys win. Blue. Okay, which blue would you like? Which blue would you like me to use? We'll get to the metallics. We will get to the metallics, JZ. We will. Hey, Sue. Samantha loves her some red. Ellen says orange. Ian wants dark blue. Okay, Ian got it because he said it first. Okay. All right. So this is just inexpensive, cheap craft paint. Yeah, I'm not going to be washing this fabric, so, and I don't care if it dries to be kind of stiff. It's all good. All right, I'm going to spread this out a little bit. And we're going to work with dots first. This is a fun little brayer, and I'm not going for perfect coverage. So I'm just going to pick up some, and I'm just going to go here and there. We're just adding, we're just creating an overall pattern. Remember, I have plenty more fabrics to work with over here. So if you don't get to tell me what to do on this one, you might get to tell me what to do on another one. Okay, so we got some blue dots going on. So I'm just cleaning off the brayer here. It's obnoxious sounding, isn't it? All right, we'll get rid of that. Be thinking of the next color you want me to use, because I'm going to put some stripes on it. So I'm going to put the other brayer in here. What color would you like me to put on here for stripes? Eileen wants silver. We're not going to do metallic yet. We're going to do metallic, but not yet. Dorothy's eating fish and chips, and she is not sharing. I know, it sounds awful, doesn't it? Okay, we'll do this one. Nothing was in the... This is kind of a teal color. It's called Bahama Blue, so we're going to use a little bit of this. So I'm just putting some color on my palette again. I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. And we're going to pick up some Bahama Blue. This is one of my favorite colors, actually. I'm not after total complete stripes. I kind of want that kind of, you know, kind of rustic feel. We're just after overall pattern. Don't forget the edges, Barb. Remind me. I'm supposed to be telling you a story. Remember? Let me get out of the picture so you can see the whole thing. So the other day, I had to go to, I guess it was Wednesday. I had an appointment. I'm home most of the time, but I had an appointment to go to. And so I had to get up earlier than usual and get myself put together, which meant, you know, hair and makeup and the whole bit, because I had to go out in public. You know what I mean. So I get up, I take my bath, I'm getting all ready, you know, I'm ready to just ready to dry my hair, because of course I wash my hair. Just ready to dry my hair. And out of the corner of my eye, there is this enormous flash of light and a huge pop. Now, let me tell you that at the time, I was watching Dee Dee Willingham, who is Inkwell, and she was streaming on Ustream. And I was watching her do, she was drawing a squirrel. And Following the big pop and the big flash of light, all the electricity went off. Okay, now understand, I have my hair wet. It's all up in a towel. The electricity has gone off. And I think this is probably very bad, because if you have something where you've got a big flash of light and a big pop, that and all the electricity from the whole neighborhood went out, it's probably not coming back for a while. Isn't that just special? Yeah, very special. So my computer system, that's my number one concern, because my computer system, which is in my studio that I'm broadcasting to you from, that has its own separate little battery box. And so that means that I can come down here. It buys me some time, and it lets me come down to the studio, because that's on a different level of my house. Lets me come down here, and it lets me turn everything off. It doesn't just go off, slam bam and mess everything up. So I did that. And then my next thought, of course, is, oh no. It's like, oh no, what am I going to do? Hello, Melissa. My next problem is, what am I going to do with my hair? Because, of course, don't you know, my hair has successfully dried, or is on its way to drying straight down to my head. Hi, Liana. She's in sunny New Zealand. That's great. How cool is that? So, anyway, yeah, so the electricity was like completely off, and there I am trying to figure out what I'm going to do with this hair. And then I thought, well, I guess I'll just have to take off the towel and just fluff it up as best I can and see what happens, Oh my gosh. But I thought it was really interesting. Well, and then my husband, about that time, he's coming up the stairs, and he's on his way with his phone to call the city to tell them, that we've had, because it's perfectly sunny outside. There's nothing going on. So he's going out, he's going to call the city and tell them what's happened, because what he has seen that has happened is the transformer for our electricity is in the next yard over. And this big flash of light was followed by a squirrel plummeting to the ground. Yeah, so here I am watching Dee Dee draw a squirrel, and I have a squirrel that commits Harry Carey right there. Right there in front of me. Anyway, the electricity eventually came on, but too late for me to do anything about my hair. Anyway, it wasn't that good a story. Okay. What I'm going to use now poor little squirrel, that's right. What I'm going to use now is one of these metallic it's one of these from this little set of Lumiere metallic paints. It's called an Exciter pack. You get 8 different colors in the pack. I'm going to use this just to paint the excess. I'm going to get a different palette here. I'm going to use it to fill in the fabric that is blank. It was Dee Dee's fault. I wrote to her and told her that's what happened. I forgot. She said something really funny, but now I've forgotten what it was she said. It's all her fault. Yes, it is. Okay, now this is a fabric paint. I don't really care that it's a fabric paint, but it coincidentally happens to be a fabric paint. This one is called Purple Halo Violet Gold. So it has shades of gold. I'm going to see if I can catch this here for you. I'm going to drag some of it out. It has purple and gold both in this paint. Okay, you can use it on fabric or paper, either one. But they're really beautiful colors. So that's what I'm going to be using. And Kentucky Fried Squirrel. That's right. That's right. Really, oh, yeah, it was not at all what I expected to happen that day. Not at all. My plan, you know, it's the example of life happens when you're making plans. It was like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just using a wash of this color. And this is the only reason I'm doing this is because I just want it to kind of fill in the background. And it's going to look blotchy and all of that, and that's okay with me. But it is going to maintain some of the shimmer. And I may switch and use some of the other colors as I go, just so I don't have it all one color. But one of the fun things about this is that it will use, or it will reveal the metallic. So my goal is always to get it the right thin quality. So I am really watering it down. And I don't know whether you're going to be able to see it or not, but there is definitely a glimmer. We'll try and catch it here in a little bit. It was all Dee Dee's fault. Oh, I know what she called it. She called him Crispy Squirrel or something. Mr. Crispy, that's what she called him. Mr. Crispy. Yeah, you wouldn't think that a little squirrel could wreak so much havoc, but indeed they can. Now, when you're doing this kind of thing, you look at it and you go, oh my goodness, I don't know about that. It will completely change as it dries, and that's part of the fun of doing stuff like this, is you don't get married to the outcome, you just let it happen. So I'm going to use up all this little blob of paint that I had out on my palette, and then I'm going to switch to another color. You have to keep picking up lots of water with it in order to get it move across the surface of the fabric. And if you don't like getting messy, then I'd suggest you don't do this kind of process, because it is a messy process. But I like doing something like this because it kind of helps to integrate the fabric as a whole, because what we've got is a whole bunch of weird separate things going on, and now this is beginning to kind of pull it all together. Thanks, Liana. Liana says she likes it. You can't expect anything. Well, you know, there may be people out there. I won't say you can't. There may be people out there that know exactly what they're going to get when they start doing things like this, painting fabric, creating paper, and so forth. You know, I don't. I just get in here and play and see what happens. I am not concerned about what the end result is going to be. You are much better off if you don't worry about it than if you try to achieve a certain outcome. If you're trying for a certain outcome, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be disappointed every time. So this is, I mean, I am watering it down that much to get this on to the fabric. So I'm just trying to use up all the last little bits I have here. Then we're going to put another color out. Because one of the things that I love when I'm creating fabrics and papers and stuff is I love variety. And if I don't watch it, I will make the same thing over and over and over again. All right, so I'm going to see if I can show this to you and catch the glimmer in the other camera. Let's see if we can catch it in the light. Now, this is much darker than it will be when it dries. There, can you see the sparkle? As I kind of tip it around. Hopefully you can see a little bit of the sparkle in it. Anyway, maybe, maybe not. All right, we're going to put another color out. And I'm going to switch to, there's a really pretty tealy aqua color. And so this color is called Pearl Turquoise. And I'm going to shake it up and put some of this on here. And we're going to go for that. I'm going to do the same thing. So a lot of water. I didn't clean out the brush. A lot of water. And I enjoy using the fabrics that I do like this for covering books. I like making projects with them, cutting them up into smaller pieces and using them in fabric art projects. What else? I like making ornaments, like Christmas ornaments or just ornaments in general. I enjoy having things hanging around my studio. I use them for art dolls. I like having my own stuff just because I think it's fun to know that I've created the whole thing from start to finish. So that's pretty fun for me. So you see the color change now. Now this is not a huge piece of fabric that I'm working on to begin with. It is about 20, it's probably about 22 inches square. I'm going to use a little bit more of this particular color. Oh yeah, I just saw somebody talking about feeding the squirrels. Yeah, people feed the squirrels around here all the time, which, I mean, we've done that too. If you feed the birds around here, you're feeding the squirrels because they're smart little Dickenses. Indeed they are. And you have to have a special bird feeder to keep them out of your bird feed. So you might as well just go, yeah, we feed the squirrels too. I don't have anything against squirrels at all. It just was annoying that he interrupted my preparation for the day. And I was sorry that he ended his life. Poor thing. They are a great source of entertainment for the sponsors. They are a great source of entertainment for Muppet. She loves to chase the squirrels. Okay, when I get finished with this blob of turquoise aqua, we'll switch to another color and finish out the background. Josie has a couple of videos on Christmas decorations, and it's all recycling. How cool is that? So I'm sure people can probably just click on your name and get to your channel. I think that's how it works, right? Okay, so we've got the aqua, and we've got some purple, halo violet actually. So I'm going to turn this around. It's getting pretty soppy wet here. And I'm going to finish this little bit. I'm just going to fold up the bottom of it, and we're going to finish this section up here. So we're going to pick another color. How about Halo Pink Gold? How does that sound? Halo Pink Gold. I'm frozen. Whoops, wrong mouse. Am I frozen? Oh. Sorry, I'm just looking to see what is going on. Here we go. It's fine? Okay. Okay. All right. Carrying on. Carrying on. Okay, so this is Halo Pink Gold. All right, thanks you guys. I was trying to figure out what was going on, and maybe it wasn't here. Okay, so this is Halo Pink Gold. It's kind of a bronzy kind of color. So picking up this color, so it is kind of an orangey pinky kind of color. Again, all of these have a metallic kind of glimmer about them. You don't have to use these thinned out like this. It just is what I like to do with them, because I like to use them as a, and I don't always use the Lumiere paints to do this. Sometimes I just use just regular old craft acrylics to do this. Hopefully you can see what's happening here. I'm trying to give you enough room so you can see the interaction with the other colors. Hi, Marion. Some are having problems, but not everybody. Okay. That seems to be the way of the internet world sometimes, especially when it comes to live streaming. I mean, everything on my end is looking the way it's supposed to, or that I expect it to. Well, we have a nice string from the fabric trying to get into the act. So what I'm going to do, once I get this done, I have a place in my studio where I can hang this up and put a heater on it. And so that's what I'm going to do. And then we're going to switch to a different piece of fabric and kind of play with it, do some different stuff on it, and maybe this will get dry by the time we're done. And you can see what this is going to do. Now I will be adding a lot more stuff to this. I'm not going to stop here. And of course I'm dripping on my table. I'm going to be adding a lot more things to this because it needs some black and some white added to it. Okay, adding a little bit more paint. And I'll tell you, those exciter packs last a long time. So even though they are small quantities of paint, they really can go a long way. And it's a good way to see if you like the Lumiere paints, to start with an exciter pack. I think one of the things you have to do when you're doing stuff like this is not worry about the outcome. I mean, I don't know how many times I've told people that, probably 100. You can't worry about how it's going to turn out. And my experience is the uglier it is in stages, the better it turns out as you move along. So I just emptied my palette onto this just to see if I can get the last little bits. Still going to have to get a little bit more paint here. Okay, we'll have to put out just an eensy bit more. They aren't silks. No, they're similar. They're similar, but it's not a silk. It is actually a fabric paint. I'm not sure. The silk's fabric paint? I forgot. Maybe they are. I have some silks that I've painted with. They probably are similar, Josie, actually, come to think of it. Okay. So I'm just going to wipe off my palettes just so I don't drip all over everything. So there is the background fully added in, just so you can see it. Okay, so we've got the purple, the aqua, and the halo pink. So I'm going to go hang this up. And we'll work on another sheet. So let me clean this up and I'll throw this one on here and we'll play with it a little bit. Be right back. I would say then that they probably are similar, that these are probably similar to the silks. I don't know how they compare in price. I want to say that this little exciter pack is less expensive than the silks, but I truly have not done a comparison to tell you for sure, so yeah. And I just keep them in that little package, just again, because I keep the packaging for the sake of telling people what products I use and so forth. Okay, so this one has had a bunch of stuff done on it. This has been jelly plated and scraped with paint, and you know, it's got some various and sundry things on it. So let's add a little bit of stuff to it, shall we? How about, I have some printing plates here that I've created, so I'm going to use those, and I'm going to pick a color of craft paint here, or Dylusions, maybe Dylusions, maybe craft paint. You know what? I'm just going to use something I have out instead of trying to make a decision. Somebody type in the chat and tell Liana to try refreshing her screen and see if that helps, would you? That would be great. All right, I'm going to use a brayer here. So I'm going to use a brayer, and I'm going to just pick up some paint on the brayer, and I'm going to put it kind of randomly over this printing plate. This is all just craft paint, probably, or it could be Liquitex Basics. It might have been some of each. Because again, I'm not after. You kind of have to prime these plates. You kind of have to do it and then do it again. I'm not after them being washable, so there we go. And again, what I'm trying to accomplish here is just a layer of pattern, not necessarily a whole bunch of, oh, there's color there. You know, I'm just after a layer. I'm not after any perfection. And these are foam printing plates that I created. Be sure, if you want to get my attention or you want to ask a question, it's very helpful if you do it in caps, all caps. Okay, I'm just cleaning off the bulk of the plate here. I stole your stamp. Do you have a stamp like this? Thanks, Ian. Thanks for putting that in the chat. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I need a journal. I'm just looking for an art journal here. Here, we'll just do it on these. I'm just after getting rid of the paint. So these are leaves that I collected several years ago, and I stuck them in my journal so that I would have the leaves to look at. I put them in here with Mod Podge, which was a grave mistake. Yeah, the Mod Podge is all cracking off. Anyway, okay, we got it cleaned off pretty well. And made the page a little prettier. Okay, so I have this one that I think I'll print with a little bit. You made an identical one? That's fun. Great minds, Dorothy. Okay, so this color is electric pink. The last color I used was Bahama Blue. These are Americana craft paints. This one's electric pink. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put out some paint on my palette here. Of course, the one thing about craft paints is that they get these nasty boogery things, and then you've got to stop and deal with them. Otherwise the paint all comes out at one time, kind of like that. Kind of like that. My leaves ended up texturing my brayer. Okay. Got to fish the boogery part out, otherwise it just makes a big mess. Okay, I think we're back in business. So, picking up some paint. We're going to brayer up this plate, and it will print better as we go along. You can't even see that because I had it where you couldn't see it. My apologies. Hey, Jill. All right, let me see if I can get some more paint out. Okay, here we go. And this is also a print plate that I made out of different kinds of foam, fun foam shapes and so forth. But I like using my own stuff. I'm not opposed to using stuff that I buy, however, because I have plenty of those too. I have plenty of these that I've purchased, right? Plenty. So I'm not opposed to using those as well. It's just fun to use your own stuff. So you can see some of that. All right, we'll put a few more of these on here. And I'm going to get a little bit more pink paint out just because I'm trying to get this all the way across this piece of fabric. Hi, Kathy. Nice to have you join us. We're just playing with fabric today. Making some fabric. Making a couple of different color renditions of fabric. Okay, now when I'm done with this, I don't worry about cleaning them. They just build up paint and build up paint and build up paint. I don't worry about it. Just so you know. Okay, let's go to one of these commercial stamps. This is a foam stamp. It's El Cheapo. Nothing fancy. In fact, I think I bought it at a garage sale. I'm just kind of wiping the excess paint off my brayer. To clean your brayer, if you soak it in Murphy oil soap all of that paint will come off. Now it's going to take a while, but all of that paint will come off. You need a strong solution of Murphy oil soap and hot water. Okay, I'm going to use black paint. Now for a glass of wine. Had tea, now ready for wine. What kind of paint are you using? The paint I'm using is just acrylic paint for the most part. I did use the Lumiere. This is Lumiere paint. I used that as well earlier. And the crayons that I used were oil pastels. Cheap kids oil pastels. Not the artist grade ones by any means. They were just the cheap things. Okay, so I'm going to use a makeup wedge. We're going to come up here. And I'm just going to, and this is just cheap acrylic craft paint. It does take a little bit to get these inked up, as it were, to get them working. Once you get them printing, then they work pretty well. You can see how light that is. That's because I just don't have much paint on the stamp yet. Further we go, the darker those are going to get. So for the moment, I'm going to kind of keep them on the edge till I know that it's printing better. See, that's already better. All right, we're ready to rock it. Murphy oil soap is a cleaner. It's M-U-R-P-H-Y, Murphy oil soap. I don't know what it would be elsewhere. Do any of you guys know? Ian, do you know? Have you ever heard of Murphy oil soap? I'm sure there's other cleaners. It's just a real strong soap. So I'm just patting the acrylic paint on. And these are just inexpensive foam stamps, as I said. I'll show you what it looks like in case you haven't seen me use it. Let me go get the bottle of it. This is what it is, Murphy oil soap. It's a wood cleaner. Okay. And there's what it says down there. So maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll help with looking for it. It's not an expensive cleaner at all. And that's nice. Okay, let's do a few more leaves here. And as you can see, I'm getting a few little things that's coming off my hands and all of that. That doesn't bother me. I got it. Thanks. Okay, and so on. Let's see if we can get another one down here at the bottom. Just see if we can get another one to print down here. Yeah, we did. Yay. Okay, I'm going to turn it around and work on the other side a little bit. Need some more paint. Race is here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Good thing the illegal fluids are off the table since Mr. Race showed up. He is the technical department. Yes, indeed. Got to keep those illegal fluids off the table. It is, Carla. Yep, it is. That's its intended purpose. But since when have we ever done anything and used it its intended way? You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, we're almost done printing on this. Then we're going to put on some white. If you don't watch out when you're doing stuff like this, you will do the same thing over and over and over. You'll make the same colors, the same patterns, the same. And it's really nice if you can make yourself create variety. And if you like doing this kind of stuff, it's really good if you can make yourself do variety. Because then you have lots of things to work with. Okay, so we got black going on. I'm going to print this in my journal. Just to see if I can get rid of the rest of this paint and kind of clean off my stamp at the same time. And this will just be a layer in the journal. Bye, Cheryl. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Okay, this is clean enough until I go to the sink and, well, I'll use baby wipe on it. We'll baby wipe it a little bit. Since these are ones that I can't, I'll have to remake someday if I want to, you know, since I bought them. That's what I'm trying to say. I try to take a little better care of the ones that I bought. The ones I make, like this, I don't really spend too much time worrying about those. Okay, good enough. All right, let's go back to this again, and let's use some white paint. So let me get some white. And I'm just going to put some white paint. Ugh. Why is everything stopped up around here? Don't answer that, Grace. Don't answer that. Okay, I think we're gonna do, let's play with this thing. This is a piece of packing material. I don't know what it came from. I mean, it was in a box of some kind. So, but it's cool. You know, it's one of those bonus things. It's a bonus project. It's a bonus deal. So I'm just going to put some paint on it and see if we can get it to print. Nope, it's not going to print for me. I need something soft underneath it, which I don't have. So, all right, going on to something else. Switching plans. How about, let's print this little thing. This is another thing that I made. This was made out of a foam tray. So we'll see if this is going to print. If not, we'll go to something else. Well, that's not going to print either. All right. Okay. Y'all are being stubborn here. My stuff is not working on for me at the moment. So we're going to go to something that we know will print, which will be this. There we go. This is just a cardboard tube that came out of the inside of wax paper. So don't forget to look around your house to see what kinds of things you can use to create fabric with, or paper, or work in your art journal. Okay, so we got white circles on there. That's good. Good enough. I love using paint in the Fineline bottles. This one happens to be cobalt teal. We'll see if we can get something to come out of it. Sometimes they clog up on me. So I am not squeezing very hard. And I'm just drawing great big spirals. And you kind of have to have this the tube at an angle, because if you have it straight on, it will drag on the fabric. That's my experience. All right, so we've got spirals, big spirals, we've got leaves, we've got white circles. We don't have any metallic going on this one. So maybe we'll put a little bit of metallic paint on this one. What color metallic do you guys think would work with this? Let me show it to you. Let me show it to you from a different angle, because the colors are a little truer here. So it's very pink and yellow and very orange and very turquoisey. Lynn says copper. Okay, let's try copper. We got copper. We can do copper. Yes, we can. So this, from this camera, from this angle, this camera is not quite, the color is not quite as true. All right, let me look for some copper here. Okay, I found Worn Penny. This is Dazzling Metallic. This is by Deco Art. Dazzling Metallic. This is Worn Penny. All right, we're going to go for something small. So I'm going to squirt it out on my palette here. And I'm going to dig through my, I have a whole plastic bag full of stuff that I found. And this is my favorite little found thing. Okay, this is my favorite little found gizmo. It has an X on one side and it has an O on the other side. And I have no idea what this came out of. Came out of the inside of something, but I don't know what. But I love this thing. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna put some X's and O's on this in copper. How's that sound? You think that's good? All right. So I dip it in the paint, and then I usually stamp it, you know, kind of someplace inconspicuous so I can see how it's stamping. Because it doesn't always stamp exactly the way I think it's going to. And it's not going to be a pure X. You know, it's kind of one of those kind of hit or miss kind of things. And when you're doing this kind of thing, it really helps if you put a padded surface underneath your fabric. So if you put some blankets folded up, or something like that, where you have some padding below it, you're going to get a better print. Okay, come on. There we go. But don't forget to look wherever, you know, in your house, in your office, in your garage. Don't forget to look those places for tools to use when you make anything in your art. Start looking, you'll look at life differently when you start looking for unusual things. Because all of a sudden, everything becomes an opportunity for a print, or becomes an opportunity for a jelly plate tool, or becomes an opportunity for making a stamp out of it, you know, or making it as a stencil. Everything becomes a fun source of inspiration. And if you're doing stuff like this, keep turning it, because you need to keep turning it in order to avoid establishing a strong up. And when you're doing stuff like this, if you're really trying to spread a pattern throughout a piece of fabric or paper, if you'll squint your eyes and look at it, it will help you see the places where you need more. And you need to be above it, which I'm sitting down, so it's very hard for me to squint and tell anything. But if you will squint, you're going to be able to see the holes. All right, so I'm just wiping it off. So there's my little X again. I think I'm going to go to another metallic color. think I'm going to use, because we already have this turquoise in here, I'm going to use a little bit of this aquamarine, which is also metallic. This is by Folk Art. So I'm going to get a little bit of that. And I'm going to use the other end, the O end of my little magic tool here. We'll see. It may just do circles. I don't know. I mean, it may do full circles, but they're a different size. There we go. See how cool that is? See that? It's the little things in life that make me so happy. Don't forget the edges. Don't forget the edges. I have to always remind myself. But you want to vary, when you're doing stuff like this, you want to vary the colors. I mean, you could do this all monochromatic. You could do it all shades of yellow or all shades of brown or all shades of reds or pink or green or whatever. So you could do that, no problem. But you want to vary the scale of the design. So some things big, like we did the big spirals and we did the bigger kind of leaf shapes here. And I have these circles in here, right in here, but I don't have any little circles. So that's why I went to this little circle pattern. Okay, turn the fabric. You know, what I do, a lot of these is, a lot of them I do use, and then there are times when I tear them up and use small pieces that I send out to people sometimes. Sometimes I just use them in projects. I just love having a stash of my own stuff on hand, so, because I do use them quite a bit, actually. And it's so much better for me if I have them ready than it is to go, oh no, now I got to go make fabric, you know. That gets real tiresome if you got to make the fabric before you can do the project. And I love having a variety of colors. Although I have to tell you, it's much easier to repeat the same color palette. That's why sometimes it's really good to have you guys say, yeah, do this, do that, you know. And then I try very hard to listen because sometimes I tend to overrule. Okay, so we have that going. Okay, so we've got, so can you see the layers of things? Just since you've been watching this piece, you see the layers. Yeah, it's good. You could make one, Carla. Just make it out of fun foam, you know, because it's just a circle. You know, it's like this is like it's like a reinforcement ring. Okay, it's just like a reinforcement ring. And then the X. So you could make one out of fun foam. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let me go see if the other piece of fabric is dry. And I'm probably not done with this one yet, but it's probably close. Let me see if the other one's dry. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to move this. At some stage, you have to let things dry. And that's pretty much where I was with this one. And where the other one is now, the other one needs to dry. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get this one, see if I can catch it in the light here again to show you the, there, you can see the sparkle in it. See the shimmer? So that's coming from all the Lumiere paints. That's where the shimmer. Question. Do you add fabric pieces to your journal pages? Sometimes I do. Yeah, sometimes I do. But not too often, but sometimes I do. I tend to use it more on the outsides of things. For example, this journal's got all kinds of stuff in it, but this is an example of fabric that I created, and then I put it around the outside of this particular notebook. So you can see the big spirals. That's one of the, that and these big squiggles. I love those. Yeah, I love the big squiggles. I don't know if you can probably see one there. So I tend to use them more on the outsides of books than I do on the insides of, of pages. Here's another one. This one is all jelly plate printed. And then I've gone back in with some pens and stuff. So that tends to be more of what I do with them. Okay, so here's the piece that we worked on earlier. Now, hopefully you can tell, those of you that have been here since we started this, how much lighter this is. That's dried, it dries down so much lighter. This is that purple halo, or this is the pink halo color up here. So this is that pink. Here is the pearl, the turquoise pearl or aqua pearl or whatever it was called. And this is the purple one, violet halo or whatever it was. Okay, so let's see if we can make this one different from the others. Not repeat the same things. I have some stained markers by Sharpie. Now these are fabric markers. And I will use, if I'm going to use a marker, I'm going to use a fabric marker. And the reason I'm going to use a fabric marker is because they don't bleed out on fabric. If you use a regular Sharpie, I think you're going to find it bleeding. Yeah, it's real shimmery and it dries much lighter. Yeah, it's really cool. So these are the stained markers by Sharpie, and let's go with purple and blue and black. We'll start with those. So I'm just going to do some of the big spirals just because I like that motif. And it just gives a little something different in the background. I got to get rid of my palette because if I don't, I'm going to have my fabric right in it. Because I still have wet paint on the palette. Okay, so let's do another one here. Okay, so that just gives us a little something. So all I'm after at the moment is just to get some design, just something of a different scale than what's underneath it. So I've got some big old scallopy things happening. And maybe we'll just draw some leaf shapes. And it's just for the purpose of changing it up a little bit, making it, see if we can make it different than the other one. Very loose. Just some loose shapes. Okay, so we've got a little marker. It's just another layer. Okay, so it's another layer of color. But by using those stained markers that are meant for fabric, you know, it doesn't hit the fabric and go start bleeding out. So that is one thing I recommend, that you stay with fabric tools. Okay, let's do some, what shall we do? How about some lines? We don't have any lines. Well, we have some lines. We have some lines here, so let's repeat that using a stamp. And then maybe we'll repeat, we need something bigger, so maybe we'll go to, this is one of my favorite stamps. Let's see, we'll do those two. How about that? Does that look good? All right. Believe me, the mess I got going on here, people, whew, it's bad news here. Okay, let's go to let's do some white. White and black always help sparkle things up, and it makes the other colors more intense, I find. And I think maybe I'm going to do the white in using this big old stamp. This is an old Claudine Helmuth stamp. These are not made any longer. So if you like this kind of stamp, you're probably going to have to dig, look for it, because they're not really available anymore. Or make your own. Once the stamp starts stamping for me, then again we get another layer of color. Just dumping out some more paint. I used up my paint already. It's funny, this looks so much whiter on the camera than it is in real life. That's funny. So there's another one. So this is coming out to be a much more pastel fabric, which is great, because that is so usually not what I do. And then you see how it immediately knocks back some of this marker, marker design. So we'll play around with this one a little bit longer, and then we will call it a day. But I encourage you to, if you've never made your own fabric, you can even take a fabric that is a commercial fabric. If you don't have this particular kind of muslin that I work on, that I love, if you have a commercial fabric, even it's kind of like making paper over commercial scrapbook paper. You can add designs, add your own stuff right on top of what somebody else has done. You can do the same thing with commercial fabric. So you could even go to a thrift store and buy, you know, something's got a lot of yardage, a dress or something like that that has that's cotton. Cotton will take the paint the best and be the easiest to work with. And then you could print, you know, take it apart and print right on top of that. Every time you put a layer on the fabric, it's kind of like the original designs they sink further and further away. It's kind of like they're falling. So anyway, have you guys enjoyed doing this? I hope. And what kinds of things would you, is there anything particular that you're wanting to watch me do in future streams? That would be good information too while we're sitting here yapping. Now this paint, the white paint that I'm using, is just a plain flat acrylic paint, and so it has a completely different sheen than that metallic background paint. So this is very flat. It will not reflect the light like the background does. So the background is really quite sparkly because of those Lumiere paints, which are lovely. And they come in many more colors than what I had here today. Jelly plate. Gotta love the jelly plates, for sure. Okay, so we have kind of this ghostly layer of white going on, so we'll call that good. I'm gonna clean this off just a smidgen with the baby wipe. Just get the worst of the paint off of it. If you guys were not here, I would take this immediately to the sink and I'd wash it with some soap and a soft toothbrush. Because I can't get it again, I'd have to make it, which I don't particularly want to do today. Okay, let's do a little bit of black on here. So we're going to use this one, and we're going to spark it up with some black. And I can hear somebody out there going, no, don't put black on it. It makes a lot of difference. Okay, I'm not going to put a lot of black paint. Very sparse with the black paint. Faint lines. When in doubt, stamp over it. If you can't get it off, stamp over it. And let some of your stamps run off the edge. That's also another thing. Since you've taken the time to paint all the way to the edge, then let your stuff, let the designs run off the edge also. It makes it a more, makes it where you can use the whole thing a lot more. But you want to have contrast of color, contrast of design, contrast of size and shape. Oops, look at that. That's what you call not exactly what I had planned, so we'll just make it work. Good enough. Good enough. Good. Lots of cotton yards. Yep, just paint on it. Just have fun with it. So I just kind of move this design, these shapes around. Again, you can close your eyes, or you can't close them, squint them. If you close them, you can't see at all. Squint your eyes and look at the designs from above, so stand up and look at them. Then you can really tell where you're missing something, where you might need a little something else. And nothing says that you have to use the entire stamp. See, I'm just using parts of it now, just a little here and a little there, just to kind of use up the rest of the paint that's on there, and also to just kind of spread the design around a little bit more. Okay, we're going to call that done. Let me clean off a little bit of the excess paint. Like so. Okay, and let's draw on it. Let me get rid of my palette. Let's draw on it, shall we? With I have a white Fineline bottle. This is actually a 20 gauge. It's in an 18 gauge bottle, but it has a 20 gauge needle in it, top on it, because my, there's no point in telling you the whole long story. One of them didn't work, so I had to fix it. Okay, Linda, you're still here. Okay, so let's do some white squiggles, because why not? So you got to make sure the paint's flowing first. There we go. Because we didn't do any squiggles on this one. And most of the time, the faster I go, the better I like it in the end. But this fine line of paint gives it, because it's such a fine line and because it's so bright white, it tends to, it just gives it a whole different sparkle factor. I just like the way it looks. I don't always do this with white. Sometimes I do it with black or that cobalt teal. Okay, another thing that I like to do often is small, tiny white dots, okay? Just here and there. So I'll do 3 or 5 or 7, or, because the brain likes odd numbers better than even. You can also do dashed lines, little straight dashed lines, but I'm better at dots. So I tend to do dots because they're easier. I'm all about what's easy sometimes, And this is another thing that you really need to stand up and look down from above and squint your eyes so you can kind of see if you need any other places to put dots. And sometimes I only do 4. I don't know why. Or sometimes sometimes I do a whole bunch, like I did right here down the middle. I did a whole bunch of dots. So you just kind of, do that. You can also come in with this same fine liner, and if you want to emphasize some of the black stamps that you have or give them a different look, you can just come and add some of the paint. And this paint that's in here, in case anybody wants to know, is Createx airbrush paint. So this is it is a fabric paint used for airbrushing. And the reason I use that is because it's thin and it flows out of the bottles. But this is the kind of stuff that I can play with for a long time, especially if I'm trying to figure something out, or I'm frustrated about something or that kind of stuff. This is a perfect thing for me to do. This is the equivalent of doodling. I suppose you could just call it doodling. But you're just doodling on fabric. And I'm going to tell you that the places that you think you've messed up are going to probably end up being your favorite places in the whole piece of fabric. Because that happens to me all the time. And you can heat set this fabric if you want, but I don't, because you know what? I can always make another piece of fabric, so I don't worry about it. Quite honestly, I don't worry about it. If I was doing something that was for a gallery or something like that, it'd be different. That would be different. Do you see what a difference the white makes? Hi, Krissa. But do you see with the white, how much difference that white makes? Now, you guys, those of you that were here from the beginning, know that what we started with was the rubbing plates and oil pastels. And now that, where some of those shapes were so obvious in the beginning, you don't even notice. You know that they're there because you can still see them. If you remember what they looked like, you can still see them. But you don't go, oh, that's a leaf, and that's one of those op art things, and that's this and that's that, because it now has completely changed over the course of playing around with it. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so I'm going to give you a look at it from top to bottom. So we're going to go from the upper left hand corner right there. Okay, so upper left hand corner, we're going to go across so you can see it all the way across. So hopefully you can tell that this was all done, intended to be one piece of fabric. Even though I use different colors of the Lumiere paints, like you can see now it's transitioning from the turquoise that was in the background down to the pink color. So there's a different color in the background, but it still looks like one piece of fabric. So if I decided to cover a book with it, or this is a pretty big piece of fabric, so that I can actually do something with it, make a piece of, use it in one of my art quilts or something like that. It's a consistent enough fabric that I've got, I know, okay, that's one colorway. That's what I call it. I don't know if somebody else calls it that, but that's what I call it. All right, let me show it to you over here on the other camera. Linda says, to be honest, at the beginning I was like, nah, not gonna like it. I know. I do the same thing, Linda. I think this one is gonna be a fail. Okay, so from the other camera, just so you get some of the close-up detail things that you can see. Hi, Angelica. Okay, so you can kind of get some of the close-ups so you can see some of the bits and pieces. Okay, so there's that one. All right, let me put this out of the way. Here's the other one. Okay, so again, now we made two radically different pieces of paper, or fabric, fabric. And this one I'll probably still come back in and do a little bit more to it, but very, very different in the feel and the character, right? Okay, so from over here, just so you can see the whole, kind of the whole thing. So from one corner to the other corner. I love having the little X's and O's throughout this one. And if I don't make myself not use that, I will put that on the other piece of fabric too, because that's what I do. Because that's what I do. And at the end of a fabric painting session, this is what your hands can look like this too. Yes, they can. It's easy. All you got to do is get out the paint. All right, let me get rid of this and we'll get the sponsors out. Because I'm telling you, they're pining to see their people. Pining. They haven't been on this table for 2 weeks and they are pining away. Yeah, they are. So let me get a space for them because they do take up a lot of room. I know it's hard to believe, but they take up a lot of room. Get the kitty cam ready. We have to prepare. We have to prepare for the sponsors. All right, here they come, people. Watch out. Brace yourselves. Here they come. At the door. Were you at the door waiting? Oh, life is terrible in there, isn't it? I know. Life is so terrible in there. Yes, life is bad. I know. I know. Where's Charlie? Where's Charlie? Oh, there he is. Okay, he's coming. He's coming. Okay, here is sponsor number 1. Are you coming up here too? You coming up? Come on. Come on. Ugh. There's sponsor number 2. He's making his way. Get up here so you can get your time in the camera. Get your time in the spotlight. There we go. All right, scooch up, Charlie. No, Chance, I'm telling you, cat wrangling is hard, folks. Cat wrangling. Okay, come on. Camera. There we go. Cat wrangling is a trick. Yes. Cat wrangling is a trick. All right. Whew. That's work, folks. That is work. Cat wrangling is work. All right. Thanks for joining us today. Charlie, don't start coughing. Don't start coughing up here because I will have to put you down if you start that. Thanks for joining us today. It was been fun. I've enjoyed making some new fabrics because I needed some. So, yeah, that's good. Thanks for helping me. Thanks for all your color suggestions, pattern suggestions, etc. I appreciate it. Oh, Lynn says she has a Maine Coon. Oh, thanks, Ilona. Thank you again for the brushos. That was so sweet of you. I really appreciate it. I really do. Don't cough anymore. Okay, before he starts coughing, we're going to go. Yeah, so there goes Chance off on the floor. Okay, you got the table all to yourself and the camera. What do you think of that? You got the whole place to yourself with your tongue sticking out. Okay, I will see you guys next week. I don't know what we're going to do, but come back and find out. And maybe I'll have on some decent clothes. Maybe I'll have on these crap clothes. You just never know. And I will see you next week. So any of you that are VIPs over at HowToGetCreative.com, your class, your VIP class is tomorrow. So yes, your information is in your email. All right, I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you next week. Remember to get creative today because it's easy. I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.